Hello, my name is Kaden Armstrong. I'm the competitor for Garner Edgerton High School dessert, entree, and appetizer. ProStart has been helping me achieve my culinary dreams because of, the curriculum that we go through. It's more rigorous than what I've read than our normal state program. So the curriculum that we learn through ProStart is much better, prepares us for the industry more. And with the current accreditation that I have, I can enter into a Kansas City fine dining as a sous chef, all thanks to ProStart. Today for dessert, this will be my dessert video. Today for dessert, I will be making a deconstructed pina colada. So it will be a base of sauteed brown butter pineapple with some black pepper, get it nice and caramelized, topped with a pina colada kind of ice cream, and then drizzled with a rum sauce, topped with some coconut flakes. So I believe that takes up one of my 3 minutes that I have. Other than that, I think we are good to go. My process, I'm going to start with the ice cream. That takes 45 minutes to set up. I'm going to be having the recipe that I turn in because it's much hotter on this day of filming, and our cooler broke. So we just have heat blowing. So I'm going to have it, and I'm going to chill it rapidly just so that way I can get it done in time. Improvise, overcome, adapt. Anyway, so after that, I'm going to make my custard base, add Coco Lopez, which is basically a pina colada mix, which comes in this nice handy dandy little can. Other than that, I think we're ready to begin. My process is just sauteing some pineapple. I will have extra. I normally make much more of this. So yeah, and I'll just reduce down the rum sauce. Most of the time will be spent waiting on ice cream, honestly. Reduction in ice cream. So I'm gonna go ahead and start my setup of my station, and now, alright, so I basically just have a sheet pan, my ice cream bucket, my knife. I just have a sheet pan of stuff. I'm gonna go grab my pots and pans, which I have stored just over here. My gelato machine is also over there. It has to remain plugged in. We don't really have outlets here, or at least any that have works, because our kitchen needs to go through a remodel. So I believe during this setup I'm allowed to get ice and sanitizer, so that's what I'm gonna do. There is ice. And I'm gonna come over here, just to our dish room. I'm gonna fill up with sanitizer. This will be stored underneath here. Have my gloves as well. And I think I'm ready to begin, but before that, thank you to our ProStart sponsors. I'll just go ahead and hold it a bit closer to here, and it's flipped. All right, well, there's that. Hopefully that'll do. If need be, I can wear it on my back, which I probably won't because fire hazard and such. But yeah, thank you to our sponsors. And I'm gonna go ahead and cut this video for intro, so that way my phone doesn't whine at me for going over on time, because that likes to do that. All right, thank you. All right, I'm ready for product check-in. So what I'm going to do, I'm gonna wash my hands first, and then I'm gonna tim my cream and my pineapple juice, so that way we can ensure that it's been under 41 degrees. Go. So now we're going to go ahead and temp this. I wish I had a digital one, but we have just the analog one. So always go to the little notch. Make sure your analog ones are calibrated as well. Let it sit there. Let it read properly. I really wish we had digital. All right, that is now at 41 degrees and dropping, so that's good to go. Put that back on my tray because I know that's in. I don't want to have to re-pull it out. And pineapple juice. That is now also down to 41 degrees and dropping. Alright. So, now that I've temped everything is here. Got my ice cream scoop. I am going to begin my 60 minutes here in 20 seconds, so that way the time's even on the clock here. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and start. Alright, so first things first, I'm going to go to chill my bucket so that way I can ensure that it goes faster. First thing you always want to do, start the base for your cream. So what you're going to want to do is get your cream. There it is. Vanilla. Again, I'm going to have the recipe because our heater's broken. I don't think I can normally get the full amount done at a time, but with our heat kind of going on overdrive at the moment, we're going to go ahead and do that. Gotta grab a spoon. I need to grab a spoon. My apologies. I will be right back. Got a nice bit of spoons. So now you're gonna wanna, we're gonna rotate you as well. You're gonna wanna do about half the can here. Make sure you don't scorch your cream as well. here so that way I can store it. Alright, that is the entire can. That's half the can, sorry about that. Now, you're gonna take your whisk. You're gonna whisk it all together until combined, you know. Alright, now, while that's heating up over low, we're going to separate some eggs into the yolks and into the yolks and whites. We don't really use the whites here. I like to separate them out with my hands just because it's much faster and simpler for me to do it this way. It's alright if some egg white is left. It's not going to hurt that much, but you don't want to have a lot of egg white. Make sure you also don't get the shell. That's also what I'm doing with this. I'm doing there. After this, I'm going to wash my hands anyway, because this always get your hands nice, wet, goopy. It doesn't really feel pleasant. All right. Oh, that one's a nice one. That's just what that. You got it separated nice and easy. Always crack on a flat surface so that way, in case you don't know your own strength, you don't accidentally crack through to the yolk. Alright, and that goes in there. Alright, I'm going to go wash my hands real quick so I can get this egg off. Alright, always dry your hands with paper towels, just so that way you don't get any extra contaminants that might possibly be on your regular cloth towels. So, just whisk that. And now with your egg yolks separated, you're gonna put in your sugar. You're gonna whisk that together until there's no dry sugar remaining. You know? Alright. It's gonna look a little something like this. Now, you want that nice rich color. So now, I'm gonna move you back there. Sorry, I'm on a tripod, so it's a bit more difficult. So now I'm just gonna temp the cream just to see if it's made it to its point yet. Alright, and it's hit 120. That's perfect. So now, what you're gonna do is you're gonna turn it off and you're gonna start to temper your eggs. Tempering is basically slowly bringing the egg up to temperature so you don't scramble it. My favorite method for doing it is ladle by ladle and just draining it on the edge of the bowl so it has better opportunity to clear down. And once it's reached like about the same temperature, you can go ahead and combine them all into the bowl, just so that way you have a better shot at cooling it instead of it being in a dedicated hot pan that's already pretty steaming hot. So now, normally after 4 or 5 ladles, it's pretty well there. You can go ahead and do this and just slowly work it in. Sometimes you want to stop, just to make sure everything's nice and incorporated. And then down at the bottom here. And then now, you want to get some air bubbles in there so you have a nice light fluffy ice cream. So now what you're going to do is you're going to plunge this into some ice, and then you're gonna put it in your fridge so that way it cools down even faster. Alright? Now, with this pan done, I can go ahead and put some of my dirty dishes in there. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start the reduction for our rum sauce. So you're going to heat up the pan a little bit. You're going to put in your pineapple juice. I use fresh pineapple juice, just cut, in my opinion it tastes better. Your brown sugar and your rum flavoring. Alright? It's not actual rum, it's just flavoring. And then you want to give it a nice good whisk to dissolve the brown sugar into the pineapple juice, just so that way you don't get any lumps and stuff while you're reducing. Alright, now that that's all combined, you're going to turn down your heats a little bit. Here. Alright, I need to go grab my pineapple out of the cooler. So I can go ahead and slice that for you guys. Alright, so while that's reducing and the cream is cooling, what you're going to do, you're going to get your cutting board ready to go. You're going to start slicing your pineapple. You always want to cut off the tags and stuff. I don't know why they always come with tags, to be completely honest. So how you're going to want to cut this pineapple, you guys can't see, sorry about that. Alright, so you want to kind of cut off the top. No one really uses the top unless it's for decoration or something. And then you're going to slice off the bottom. Alright? You have that. So now, you're going to go around and peel the spiky outer layer off. And honestly, you have use for the rind of this pineapple. Once it ripens, turns a little bit yellow, that means there's yeast activating on the skin of the pineapple. And with that, you can make what I believe people call mead, or I call it tapache, as it is in as it's known in Spanish cuisine. So, but since these are pretty green and it's early in the season, we can go ahead and shotgun because there's not a lot of nutritional value left on pineapple rinds unless they turn a little bit yellow first, you know? You can't make your tapache, you can't make any of that kind of stuff. You always want to make sure you get the like little woody bits out here. I believe they're called the eyes of the pineapple. They're just woody in texture and they're unpleasant to eat. It's okay if you have like small bips and bops here, but all these deep ones you want to get rid of. Also be sure to get rid of any green in the leg. Oh, announcements.
Joseph, if you're by a phone, can you call extension 2601?
Oh, teacher's in trouble. This is being filmed after school, so no one's basically here. All right, now you're going to want to kind of clean off a little bit. And now what you want to do, you're going to slice your pineapple into rounds, kind of like you're making a pineapple upside down out of fresh pineapple. Always want to semi-hold your pineapple because it gets very slippery. And depending on the size of the pineapple, you can always get more stuff. Like down here, the woody bit gets really thick. So what I do with this part is I normally make smoothies. And so we're gonna pick 2 of these. I think we're gonna go with these 2. And then the rest can go on a sheet pan for later use. You can always make more of these. You can always make more portions. You can never make less. So these will go down here into the low boy, just so that way we have everything, you know? Alright, so now that we have our 2 pineapples, what we're going to do is we're going to core them, just to get that woody bit that no one likes eating. It's always a pain getting it out because it's such a smoke bit, and that works. Alright. And now, if you want to trim them up, make them look a little bit nicer, I'm going to do it on this one a little bit, just so that way we have a bit more rounded edges. And now, with your other sheet pan, you're going to put these on here, and then you're just going to clean your cutting board, always. Pineapple is the only thing this cutting board is really going to be used for, because there's no other real things to do. Wipe off, make sure you get the little bits that fell off your cutting board. You'll always get them after you clean up your station as well. So now, what we're going to do is this. Alright. Now, what you're going to kind of do is check your sauce, make sure it's not over boiling, and now you're going to throw your mixture into the gelato maker. Alright, we're going to travel over there together. I started at 2 minutes, I believe. So, power on, set it to ice cream, and then just pour it in here. And make sure to clean off any ice bits and such. And then you're gonna get your lid, which somebody took from my station, so one moment please. put it back where it was supposed to go. So that's always a plus, isn't it? So now, you're gonna put the lid on and start it, and then you can take these bowls away and put them with your dirty dishes. So now, essentially, while we wait for the ice cream to go, I'm gonna go ahead and start doing some dishes as well. You know what, before that, just so that we can get this out of the way, you're gonna season your pineapples, all right? It might look like a lot of black pepper, but trust me, a lot of it's gonna fall off in the pan with the butter. So, you always wanna make sure it's nice and coated. It's like seasoning salt on a very large steak. All right, flip it over. Sprinkle it. Sprinkle it. Sometimes you get variations in the pineapple where you don't need as much of the stuff, so that will go there. Now your brown sugar. It's alright if you don't get it all on there. It'll do just fine. You want to kind of spread it. Make sure it gets a small, even coating, and then you're going to flip it again. Make sure you spread it on the other one. Like, this will knock off a lot of the pepper when it's caramelizing, and it also adds a bit of a extra flavor, you know? So now we're going to let those sit in there and wait while we take these to the dish room. I will join you in just a minute. Sometimes we drain our milk the other day, so I have to refill the tanks. And since I have brown sugar and stuff all over my hand, I'm going to go ahead and rewash them. Can't be too careful, plus I don't want it sticky. Again, always take a towel. I just use 3 because it's natural for me to do. And now what we're gonna do is also, while that's just filling, we're gonna taste our sauce, see if it needs anything. It really shouldn't, it just should be in the thickening stage. Looks good. Make sure I don't burn my tongue. Yep, that works. You get that nice taste of the rum. You get the sweetness from the pineapple and sugar, but the rum flavoring just cuts through it. Gives it a nice, real sweet and kind of I want to say savory, but I know that's not the taste. And so I'm just going to lower that even more, just so that way we get a nice slow reduction, like a demi-glace. And throw that disposable spoon away. And while we're here, always wipe off your table. Sometimes you don't use all your ingredients because different sizes and the like. I'm gonna go ahead and get my pan ready to go. Start warming it up a little bit and grab some butter out of here. Check our tanks because we have 90% So now we're gonna cut some butter. You wanna, what about a tip? These markers on here just work wonders. Cut that off, make sure to rewrap it. Take the paper off, and then you can chunk it. Chunk it however you like. I like doing it like this because it gives me something to do and I have more control over the amount of butter that goes in. So that'll be there. Wipe off the knife. Wipe off a little bit here. Alright, and then so now essentially what we're waiting on is just for the gelato to work out, or ice cream. It's honestly interchangeable because the base that I use is essentially the same for both ice cream and gelato. I'm going to try and adjust this tripod here and see what we can get. You know? Because maybe we can get it so you can see. You know what? We're just going to lift the tripod. You see? It's getting the brownish hue in there is the Coco Lopez. I'm doing a little bit of work. But yeah, so that's essentially everything. So yeah, I don't know if I can do a jump cut or not. I don't think so. But yeah. So while this is working, I'm gonna have the butter be here. I'm gonna put the rest of it back down here in my boy because this is my own station here at the school. Have this sit, check the pan. Alright, I can stay there. Coconut flakes, you can toast them if you want. I don't like to because I already like the texture. I'm not a big fan of the color either, and they're really easy to burn. Throw away some cups, wipe down, make sure you get everywhere around it. Have your tongs on the ready. But yeah, we're just honestly waiting on the ice cream. I'm gonna take you to the dish room, so that way we can be cleaning at a later moment. It's honestly hard with a tripod and just myself. Is it set? Alright, that's good. I will be. Alright, sorry about that. Had to check the sauce. And thank you again to our sponsors, especially the Kansas Restaurant Association for putting this all together for us. And especially thank you to Lisa for heading it all up. So that way everyone has an opportunity here to earn some scholarships and to represent the state of Kansas, hopefully at a national competition. I don't know what the plan is about that. Make sure to always semi-hose out your stuff. Someone else left their pan for the glass, which is fine, whatever. Ice bowl. So now we're just honestly waiting on these tanks to fill. Always make sure your dishes are upside down as well, just so that way, you know, you can have all your stuff. And it's just much more convenient so you don't have a pool of water. And I'm not wearing a mask because I am the only person in this kitchen. After school, everyone leaves, especially seniors like myself. But you know, I prefer staying, you know, doing work, helping out my instructor, and just doing all that kind of stuff. All right. So now, what I kind of like to do, just throw a bit of butter in this pan. Maybe a little bit more. Just so that way we get a nice coating. And you kind of want to brown butter. You kind of want to brown it a little bit. So what I do is everything that like fell off during the seasoning of the pineapple seasoning is I put it in the pan so that way it caramelizes in the pan, and when I put it in there, it soaks up the sugars and whatever's on its surface, so that way it gets a nice crispy exterior. You know, the sauce is reducing quite nicely, and you know what? We're actually going to get the sponsor sheet again. Here we go. All right, here's our sponsors. Once more, I forget the camera's over here because this is an iPhone. Perfect. Hopefully that's enough. I don't know. Maybe I should put it on my back. Like, I mean, you guys don't really see my back outside of dishes, right? Right? So, now that the butter is nice and melted, it's difficult putting on a cooking show, isn't it? So now, what you do is you kind of sprinkle a little bit, you know, using tongs and spoons. Honestly, it's what I like to do. And then afterwards, you get, when you put the pineapples in there, what you will do is you'll just knock the pan a little bit, you know? I'm gonna go check on the ice cream while you guys watch that. So how we look? Alright. So you see all that? That's going to be like a nice spot to put, well, you can't see it. So you'll have like a nice little spot of pepper and brown sugar. That is right where you want to set it after you throw the rest of the butter in, right before you fry the rest of it. I'm going to go taste the ice cream, you know. This is honestly a bit odd moment, so we're just gonna dip the spoon in. Tastes like a pina colada, like from the islands, you know. All right, I really need a new tripod because I keep kicking it with my shins. All right, our sauce is almost there, so that's gonna be another taste. That's gonna be really nice with that ice cream. It's gonna cut the acidity as the pineapple as well. It's gonna be nice and beautiful. I really don't know what to do for the rest of this time. I mean, I'm cleaning. I'm honestly just waiting for this to... Oh. Hold up. This is why. Everything breaks, don't it? That's why it's not filling. Because of the fact that our little stopper was pulled out, even though it shouldn't be when I'm filling, so... My bad for not checking on that. So, I don't know. How do I look on cam? I don't look bad. Skull cap a little bit weird, but it's whatever. Right. And if I didn't fully introduce myself, my name's Kaden Armstrong. I'm the student executive chef of the GEHS culinary and the captain of the culinary team. So I kind of head up from a student side, what we all do. You know, do a bit of crowd work. I do the executive chef things. I take care of some ordering. I do a lot of different things. I plan our dinners, plan out menus, cost them out, which I semi-hate doing because of all the numbers involved, but it's a necessary part to ensure that way a restaurant makes money. I get it. But yeah, so again, thank you sponsors. You know what, let's read them off. Thank you to Heartland, thank you to EMC Insurance, thank you to Cargill, thank you to Cox Business, thank you to the Kansas Restaurant Hospitality Association, thank you to Intrust Bank, thank you to Hospitality Insurance Services. Yeah, that's what that says. Thank you to the Mize Restaurant Group, Cisco, Keurig Dr. Pepper, United Healthcare, Micros, Remote Video, and the Wichita Press Incorporated. Thank you again for sponsoring the 2021 Virtual ProStart competition. That's gonna go there. I don't know if I can jump cut. I really wish. I sent an email, but it didn't get answered any questions, so. All right, we're getting there on our ice cream. All right. Yeah, this should be working out just fine. Might be a little bit of a last minute plating, but what isn't, you know? Everything's last minute in the kitchen, you know? You prep as much as you possibly can, and then sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. You know what, let's see how tall this can get. Oh. It did not want to do it. Okay, we're gonna try that one more time. Oh, that's very tall. That's almost as tall as me. I don't know if I like the tripod being almost taller than me. Fun. All right, we're gonna lower that back down. All right, that works. So now we're gonna wash our hands because we've been messing with the tripod, and hopefully the tanks will finish filling in the dish machine. So yeah. You know, we're gonna show some proper hand washing. You know what, this one doesn't have paper towels, my bad. I'm gonna go. We need to refill that. Our maintenance guy will come in and refill them normally once a week. We're gonna show some hand washing techniques. Yeah. All right. So typically we have foot pedals, but this one just doesn't. So you wanna get some hot water, or as hot as you can stand. Alright, you're just gonna rinse your hands a little bit, you know. Make sure to get a little bit onto the forearms as well, because you don't know what's splashed up there accidentally. Then get some soap, and then you're gonna scrub. You're gonna sing the ABCs, though I'm not gonna sing the ABCs because did you hear the changing the ABCs as well? They're gonna split up the LMNOP into different syllables now instead of all in one. That's a bit odd. So now you scrub. Make sure to get your fingernails in between your fingers, back of your hand, forearms again, and then you're gonna rinse, kind of like a doctor scrubbing in for a surgery. But yeah. So Good thing our water didn't break, because that would suck. It's just our heat. Alright, buckets. Into the trash can you go. Alright, perfect timing too. Our machine is done filling. Alright, we're gonna set you there. We're gonna give it a quick spray down. And then we're gonna push it in here. Press the start, press the green start button. I'm gonna take you over to the other side while it does that. So that way you can see it come out. Perfect. Oh, trays coming out. Sometimes you would normally like to just move them out the way, and then now you pull them. So, always air dry your dishes. Always. Because if you towel them, you know, I'm gonna stop this thing here. Big red stop button. Big red button. So, if you don't air dry and you towel dry, you're risking putting the contaminants that were on the towel back onto the dishes that you just cleaned, and then you have to re-wash them. And no one wants to wash dishes twice. Let's be honest here. It's a pain already as is. So yeah, we're just trying to avoid that. So we're just gonna put all this back in here. Our entry-level class was making Dutch babies today. They're getting up there, and yeah. So our chef she's originally from Louisiana, New Orleans area. So you have all that influence of Southern cuisine in our area. I like to stay coastal, kind of Asian. So Florida is where I really like to stay. That's where I get the pina colada stuff from. The great city of Key West, which seceded from the Union in 1874 for 1 week. 1 week. And then they decided to rejoin the Union. The only reason being is because they treated them like a foreign nation, because all the cartel used to go through Key West, and they set up basically like a checkpoint that you would at a border. And since they didn't want that, in which completely understandable, they revolted and threw stale Cuban bread at a U.S. Coast Guard ship. And now every year they celebrate the bloody Battle of Key West, even though no blood was spilled over this conflict. Even though no blood was spilled, they're still kind of salty at each other. So every year they throw stale Cuban bread. The Navy will come in with some like water guns and such. So yeah, it's always a fun time. I've gone down there multiple times, and yeah, so it's just a great time. If you really want to have the tourist experience without all the other tourists, Almirada. It's the same thing, maybe about an hour drive from actual Key West. But Almirada is where you want to be if you're a tourist and you don't want to do touristy things. Because it's much cheaper there, hotels are cheaper. You can watch high school football, actually. It's nice. They have like big stadiums despite the tiny islands. The stadiums are about as big, if not bigger, than Texas's, because they have all that nice open space down there on the island. But since they have all that open space, they have a lot of iguanas, which are an invasive species in Florida, like zebra mussels here in Kansas. So they put a bounty out on them, so people make a living just doing bounty hunting of iguanas. And I just threw my butter in there, because you don't want to serve ice cream on a hot pineapple, okay? That'll just melt the ice cream. And I've had troubles with that, because it's hard to take pictures and then get to the tasting in a timely manner so it doesn't melt, you know? Melt your butter, turn up your heat a little bit, have your pineapples at the ready. And now that our rum sauce is there, we're also gonna have that be cooled down so that way, again, you don't put it on top of the ice cream. So once all that butter is melted, we're gonna go ahead and throw in the pineapples. You can typically fit 3, 4 maybe, but I like to do 2 at a time, gives me more control, and plus I'm only making 2 plates. So this is where you wanna knock everything in, and then you just kind of mix it about, and then you can make it kind of like smiley face, you know? You know, gotta keep yourself entertained while you're cooking, while also paying attention. So now you put this with the rest of your dirty dishes, and you also want to wipe down over here. I guess a little cream got onto that sheet pan for some reason. So while that's caramelizing, I'm gonna go get my plates. We only really have round plates. I've been asking for more plate variety, like different colors and such, because I think this would look better with those. But I get what I get, and you know what? It's better than paper plates. So you know how that is. All right, we're gonna put you back here. Got our plates. One for tasting, one for pictures. All right, now that we're here, we're gonna wanna flip them. Sometimes they give you a bit of struggle. All right, now with all that there, you're gonna wanna turn off your heat and use the heat that is left in the pan to sear the other side. Get your coconut flakes ready, all that kind of stuff. And then once those are done, pineapples are done, you're gonna put it on the sheet pan. And I actually have a really nice trick for sugar covered pans. You just put a little bit of water in them, so that way the sugar dissolves out, you know? Alright, you don't want a lot of caramelization because then it'll mess with the texture of the ice cream itself. So now you're gonna let them rest. And now what you're gonna do is put some water in this pan. And then you're gonna put it back onto the heat so that way you can have all the sugar dissolve. Thought I could be, sometimes the pilot doesn't like to study. Perfect. So now, I'm just gonna let that sit there. Alright. Clear down. And sometimes you just wanna put your tongs in there that have the sugar on them, so that way you get the sugar off those as well. We're gonna. All right. It's looking real nice. I'm gonna go check on our gelato or ice cream. But yeah, so that's there. Yeah. So now, you know, I'm gonna take it to the dish room so I can do it with this pan properly and I don't have to hold the pan and the tripod at the same time. Woo! All right. All right, I'm gonna go grab the pan real quick. Hot pan coming through. Perfect. So now, you put them in here, then you dump that out. Now, you have a nice clean pan with no sugar stuck on it. Flip it upside down once again. Throw it in there. We're gonna take it to the other side. Bum-ba-da-ba. While that's going, cleaning while cooking, always the best option. This should come on. Normally it doesn't take this long. There we go. That's better. Good job. Good job. All right. Never touch it when it's steaming because steaming equals always hot. But, you know, this is how we do things. All right. Small wares container. Pan will go right then. Now I have to stop the machine because it has to run a little bit after each thing comes in, so to make sure everything's clean. So yeah. Yeah, we're gonna, you know, let's do this angle, you know? Let's have it at this angle. Alright. Someone left a pasta basket here for some reason with hot water. So now, I guess I get pasta. So, yeah. Our pasta things don't really have the handle on them anymore because our entry-level class. But yeah, so we have all that. All right. So, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna start plating. So, at this point, you're gonna kind of want your gloves. This is a new box because we ran out all day today. Come on, open. Open sesame. There we go. Come on. All in one piece. All in one piece. Come on. Come on. Come on. Good enough. Good enough. Perfect. Always get the right size gloves. I wear larges just for the fact that my hand's pretty large, but not enough for an extra large, and I would rip through a medium anyway. So now, we're gonna put our pineapple onto their plates. You see how much pepper came off in the saute, essentially, in the sear. So now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab a new towel and we're gonna go wipe down these plates just to be safe. All right, you always want to kind of wet a corner of your towel so that way you can get all the smudges off. And then you have a dry corner as well. So, just wipe down. Just to ensure there's no like fingerprints, because no one wants a fingerprint in all their food. Like, come on, guys. Alright. This one you want to just kind of clean up, you know. Make sure there's no juice strips, you know, stuff like that. So these 2 plates are ready to be dressed as soon as the ice cream comes out, you know. Ready to be dressed with a rum sauce as well. Alright, we're looking good, we're looking good. We're looking good. These legs are not conducive to this kitchen. Alright, so now that our rum sauce is now nice and thickened, we're going to set that out to officially cool. Why do people leave burners on? Alright, so now we're gonna grab you, Mr. Tripod. We're gonna put you right there. Accidentally contaminate your hands with, as if you get a hole in them, that's just rough and stuff like that. So. All right, now I started at 2 minutes, so 2-minute plating period now. So now we got that. Put your gloves on. You can honestly put that there. Somehow it's solidified. Alright, so now, rum sauce, drizzle, and then drizzle. Top with your coconut flakes. time. All right, thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the tasting. All right, there we go. There's the camera, nice little seat. It's student artwork. It's always nice to have in here. So I eat it with a fork and knife because that's just the way I am. So what you want to kind of do is, since the ice cream also melts into the center ring, you want to kind of cut through the caramel and then kind of do that. Slice yourself off a little bit of a wedge like this, like you would eat a normal pineapple. So then now you get a little bit of ice cream. You eat it. It's a kind of sweet and spicy kind of thing, you know? So what you do is the caramelization works really nice with the sugar. Black pepper really works with the ice cream. Coconut just ties it all together. You can hear the crunch of the caramel as you eat it. You know, some people might not like the pineapple. I get that. I just like black pepper or caramelized pineapple. So you have your pina colada ice cream here. And that on its own you can sell. It's a beautiful, beautiful dessert. So, yeah, I just like it a lot. I chose this dish because, again, I want it akin to the south of my instructor, but I also wanted it to be a little bit me, so I went with Florida, Key West, as I taste here, and hopefully not eat the entire plate. Yeah, it's great. Sorry, made a caramel and didn't chew thoroughly enough here. But yeah, you can always have the ice cream. It's perfect for a spring day. And yeah. So, thank you for coming to the tasting. And all beautifully blends well together. The colors match. The white of the coconut brings it out. It's a really beautiful dish. If I could do it on a black plate, I would. It might be too peppery for some people, but I like a lot of pepper. So thank you for coming to the tasting. I have to get up and turn the camera off. All right, so now begins my 10 minutes of dish. So yeah, I don't like to waste the ice cream, so I always set my cooler to freeze overnight, which I can do. There we go. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and take this a little bit by little bit to dish. I'm gonna bring you with me on this first run, so that way I don't have to carry a knife and this. Be safe here. All right. Put this here as well, along with your scoop. You're gonna spray off this. You're gonna have your regular sheet pan as well that you started all your stuff on. That will go in. I'm going to go. Always scrape your plate so that way you can get the bits all over your dishwasher. And besides, the person doing dishes will really appreciate it. that. Oh my, fun. Sometimes it shuts down in the middle of wash. That's just typical. So now, those will go ahead and you start it again. Bring this over. And now, we always put it like this. Spray it down. Goes out, get a little bit of crap. Alright, and then send that in. I don't know why it doesn't like this. So then we'll go back over here. Yeah, we're gonna bring you over here now. 3 minutes, alright. Always remember stuff inside. Plates and knives. Alright. Sheet pans. I always put up top. Since everything's ran through, we're now gonna turn it off. You're also gonna wanna open it and then pull your water release out so that way it can drain and you don't have mold sitting there overnight. And then cutting boards, same thing as the sheet pans to go up top because they're alike in size and you can't really put them anywhere else. Always leave your door open because then if you shut it, your drainage won't work properly, at least on this machine. So yeah, after this we're going to go clean out our table. Perfect. Halfway through. Yeah. Good thing I do dish during my cook time because it's always a fun time. Alright, so now you're gonna move this. You're gonna have